Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in. Who can I see over there? I've got Kate and Bianca. Hello, Kate and Bianca. Thanks for being early. Like every good teacher, right on time is perfect. We've got a fun little session tonight, all about self-care and leading into how to really, I guess, get on top of this when we have an opportunity like we do now, whether it's school holidays or whether we're remote teaching, working online. There's lots of ways that we can be looking after ourselves, and it can actually be overwhelming. So tonight I'm going to share a little bit more about how I can help and how you can get started all on your own, because you're all big adults capable of practicing self-care, but we really just need a point to start from. So drop in the chat, where are you joining me from? Just a location. I'm in Dunsborough, Western Australia. Please drop in the chat where you are joining the webinar from. We're not live on Zoom tonight, but that just reminds me, I do need to go live on Instagram. There may be some people on Instagram who haven't registered yet. They won't be able to see the slides, but they're more than welcome to tune in. Bianca's in Cairns. What a beautiful place to be. Cairns is lovely. I'm not sure what the weather would be like now, but I have been up there in far north Queensland, a beautiful part of the world. If you haven't already, for those that are on, if you haven't signed up for tomorrow's Online Education Summit, please do so. Spots are basically limited to the workshops you want to be in, so you can nominate to go to different workshops. We've got 12 speakers from all over the world. Phenomenal human beings. Like, some of these people, their profiles are massive. They've traveled to, like Dale, for example, has been to over 30 different countries presenting. Greg Mitchell has been doing this for 35 years. So if you haven't signed up yet, it's summit.energetic.education on the big World Wide Web. Please sign up, because you get so much value out of being on that conference, and it's totally free. So for those on Instagram, you're not going to be able to see the slides, but you will be able to follow along at home. And if you haven't signed up for tomorrow's Online Education Summit, you are missing out. Okay, we've got workshops every 2 hours across all day Thursday and Friday, full of incredible value for teachers. Now, I'm going to start this week's webinar in just a moment. I can see we've got quite a few people on Zoom, which is where you should be. So guys, if you haven't registered for Zoom yet, this is every Wednesday, 6 o'clock. You only need to register once. Once you've registered, if you show up on the live, you obviously be able to interact live, but if you've registered once, you will also get the replays. So if you're watching on Instagram and you haven't registered on Zoom yet, just do it, because you get the replays and you can watch this stuff over and over and go back to it and see the slides. And Ronnie, my wonderful project manager, will send you a copy of any of the resources, but you have to register. All right. As I said, I'm going to share screen with Zoom. Instagram, you're just going to get to keep looking at me and follow along. If you have a pen and paper nearby, it would be beneficial, just for some scribble, just to do some activities, or typing on your computer. Because what we're really going to get clear on is some reflection around your self-care and your well-being. Because if we can't see what needs our attention first, then it's going to be very hard to take the action. And when we look at self-care holistically, there are so many different areas that come into this self-care umbrella. We just want you to be able to pick the most important one and start with that. Hi Terry, thank you for being on the webinar. Thanks to everybody who's on Instagram. We are going to get into it now, and I'll share the screen. Instagram, you're just going to get to see my beautiful face. And we're off and racing. So for those that are joining us for the first time, for those that don't know me, I'm Sean Kay, founder of Smile Teachers. If you're following on Instagram at smile_teachers, can you please also go and follow at Sean K1. So SHAUNKAY1, because we're actually starting a few new things like a podcast. We're going to have some incredible people featuring on the podcast, sharing content that's not just education specific, but life specific on what it means to be an influential human being, some important habits and rituals, lots of cool stuff through Sean K1. And Smile Teachers will keep doing everything that we can to make education exponential. Tomorrow, last time I'll mention it, maybe, we've got the Online Education Summit. The link is on our profiles. We've already had over 1,000 teachers register. And just, if you are watching this and you're planning to be in the Online Education Summit, get there early, because once there is X amount of people in, it closes, and then if you missed out, you will get the replay. So it's not all going to be available unless you're there early, like some of the wonderful people here. Now, as I said, there's going to be some interaction with this. I expect you to be scribbling down some notes as we go, not for me, but for you, to help you self-identify where you can really start to focus some of your attention so that you can practice self-care. And I'm just going to pull my mouse over here. So the first question, okay, and those that are on Zoom will be having a little bit of a chuckle. The first question right now is, how are you feeling? Just think about that. How are you feeling? Can you use one word to describe it? If you're on Instagram, put it in the comments. If you're on Zoom, put it in the chat. What's one word to describe how you are currently feeling? Because just taking that moment to check in, and if you're tired, acknowledge you're tired. If you're happy, wonderful. If you're joyful, fantastic. What's one word right now that you can put in the chat on Zoom or put in the comments? If you're watching on Instagram, one word. Harry has put tired, okay? That is fine, tired. We're allowed to feel tired. Zoom, I need some of you guys interacting. One word, how are you feeling right now? Okay, here we go. The Zoomers are on, they're awake. We've got satisfied. Brilliant, that's a great word. The next question, oh, look at that, Bianca, you're reading my mind. The next question I'd like you to write down for yourself and reflect on this question is, what makes you happy? Just think about that. What makes you happy at the moment? What are some of the activities, the experiences, the things that you can do that make you happy? Write these down, okay? Piece of paper, phone, laptop. What makes you happy? Quick little things that come to mind. For me, surfing, the beach, connecting with friends, cooking, coffee. Coffee makes me happy. Being online with teachers makes me happy. Just jot down, what makes you happy? Because those two questions, if you're feeling like Harry, you're feeling tired, but you know what makes you happy, then why wouldn't you go and do one of those things before you wind down today? It might just be doing, I know Harry loves doing her affirmations, might be doing your affirmations. It might be like I'm going to do after this, after dinner, I'm going to get that Maxi Bon out of the freezer and I'm going to enjoy that Maxi Bon because I'm going to treat myself because ice cream makes me happy. Harry, coffee on the veranda, cooking and sunshine. Beautiful. Okay, so we're clear on what makes us happy. Right now, okay, and again, paying attention. If you're watching the Zoom, if you're watching the recording, do this with me. It's going to be fast, okay? And I'm going to explain it to you right now. So for our holistic self-care, for our self-care as a teacher and as a human being, there are 12 areas that we need to have something within balance. So there needs to be something in that cup, as we say. 12 different areas. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go through the 12 areas. I'm going to call them out or speak about them you're going to write down the first number that comes to your head, 0 being that particular area of your life is like non-existent right now. It just doesn't exist. So it could potentially be like the last thing on the list is community. If you don't feel like you're involved in the community, you're not connecting with any groups, you don't belong, it's not that you don't belong, you don't currently have the opportunity to belong, then community would be a 0. On the other end is 10. 10 would be you feel like you're still connected, you're a part of the community, you're adding value, you're being of service, and you've got this group that you belong to in the community. Because see, even for me personally right now, I would say community is like an 8 because I'm doing lots of stuff online, but I don't have that face-to-face, peer-to-peer relationship that I love. So I'm going to go through and on your piece of paper or wherever you're looking, on your phone, on your laptop, wherever it is, you're going to write down between 0 and 10 for each of these areas. So there's going to be 12 areas. Okay, each of these areas, 0 to 10, we're going to figure out how much you've got in each. So the first area is your love relationships. So your love relationships with your partner, your spouse, your family, those people closest to you. Out of 10, how much love have you got in that cup? Or how much are you putting into that cup? 0 to 10. 10 being totally full, you're really happy with it. 0 being no love there at all. 5 is like, yeah, you're doing pretty well. So that's the first one, love, out of 10. The second, friendships. How much are you putting into your friendship area? 0 to 10. 10 being still lots of interaction and engagement. Okay, 0 to 10. 10 being lots. So we've done love, we've done friendships. Number 3, adventures. How many new adventures or experiences or exciting things have you been doing? 0 to 10. 10 being you're still getting out, you're trying new things, maybe you're doing new activities at home. 0 to 10, okay? 10 being lots of activities. 8, Harry is an 8, even being at home, okay? So it just shows you don't have to go on these, huge overseas trips to experience adventure. 0 to 10, how much for adventure? So we've done love relationships, friendships, adventure. 4th, environment. What is your environment? Your living environment, the space you live in, your home, the outdoor environment. What is the environment around you? Is it 10, amazing, abundant, expansive, makes you feel good? Or is it 5, I could do with some work? Or is it 0, really need to change the environment? The next is health and fitness. So this is diet, exercise, and sleep. How good is your health and fitness? 0 to 10. 10 being perfect fitness, perfect physique, feeling good. That's the best thing. Feeling good would be 10 out of 10. The next is intellectual. Are you learning? Are you investing in your knowledge? Are you investing in learning and education? How much are you investing in learning? 10 would be you're learning every day. 0 would be you've forgotten that we should be learning. The next, a little bit different, skills. What new skills are you working on? Now with all of this that's happening is a perfect opportunity to be upskilling. You can be doing online courses, you can be doing online learning. Are your skills always building and being a 10, or maybe is it time to invest in some learning? So intellectual is the learning and the education. Skills are you improving and progressing with your skills? The next, spirituality, okay? Again, 0 to 10. 10, you feel really connected, you feel alive, you're connected, and you're believing in something, you've got your daily practices. Spirituality, 0 to 10. Next, career. Are you happy, satisfied, enjoying, feeling fulfilled with your career? 10. Need a career change? 0. Kind of in the middle? 5. 0 to 10. How satisfied and in balance are you with your career? Next, creative. How are you being creative? Art, craft, cooking, building, sketching, creating clothing, whatever it is. Have you got some creative pursuits? 0 to 10. 10 being really creative, 0 being not so creative. Family. How much quality time are you spending with family? 0 to 10. 10 being lots, 0 being nowhere near enough, 5 being it's okay. So 0 to 10, how much time are you spending with family? And the last, as I said, is community. How much involvement do you currently have in the community? 0 to 10, 10 being really involved, 0 being not really involved. Now, why I can see Harry is eagerly doing this correctly on Instagram. I hope the guys on Zoom have also been doing this. Now, I want you to add up your scores, okay, out of 120. So do the math real quick. Should add up to 120 if you had 10 out of 10, but nobody will have 10 out of 10. I don't have 10 out of 10 for everything. Add up your score out of 120. And then please, Zoom and Instagram, if you manage to go through all of them, either put, okay, just for a bit of accountability, either put your score out of 120 or the lowest number and the category. What was the lowest category and number? Okay, so we've got 12 areas of balance, score of 10. So in the chat Zoom or in the chat on Instagram, either which area had the lowest score or what was your total score altogether. Now, this is an activity that, you know, we normally spend a fair amount of time going through, and there's some questioning with each category. I'm just giving you guys a quick snapshot just to check in. So on Zoom, please put in the chat, and on Instagram, put in the comments the score out of 120 or the lowest category for you. Because what we want to know is how much balance have you got in each of those areas. Thank you, Bianca. Adventure was 3. Thank you for the honesty. And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with this. It's not a test, okay? It's to help you identify how can you bring some more adventure into your life. And like I said, it doesn't have to be going outside and, you know, being on a trip or going to the amusement park or whatever that is. It might be what's something we could do at home that is completely different, never done it before. It's novelty. It could be a new cuisine that you're learning to cook. It could be creating a, you know, remember your kids creating a blanket fortress, doing something completely different and adventurous, because we know that novelty and adventure is so important for our mindset and our mental health. Terry, community 4. Harry was also a 4 for community and adventure as well. So yeah, that's right. Those two things we acknowledge are hard at the moment. So what I challenge you to do is think of one way, one thing you can do to increase that a little bit. So maybe to get that 4 up to a 5, which is a pass. And Terry, a great idea could be something that I do every day because it's something that I'm really passionate about, is calling, messaging, or emailing somebody out of the blue to say thank you. So I send a message or an email every single day to somebody who has helped me along this journey to say thank you. And that's a form of community. That's, you know, me giving something to them, them receiving it, creating that connection. It could be you write a letter to somebody. It could be that you jump online and do a live video like I'm doing right now. There are lots of ways you can create that connection and community. So that was just a really brief snapshot of 12 areas of balance. On the next slide, you'll see here, and Zoom, Instagram, you guys can potentially go and find this later when I load the Zoom video onto YouTube. There's a link there on Zoom. It is, if you want to write it down quickly, Instagram, it is bit.ly, so bit.ly /12 areas of balance. So bit.ly/12, the number, areas of balance, or one word. That'll give you the actual worksheet to help you go through and identify the one area that you're going to focus on. Excuse me. Nearly died. So, and then you ask yourself this question. Instead of trying to get 12 areas in balance, we just start with one thing. And we ask ourselves the question, what's the one thing I can do such that everything else will be made easier or not necessary? And this comes from the book called The One Thing. It's a fantastic book. But what's the one thing you can start doing? Maybe it's going to bed earlier. Maybe it's not drinking coffee, which I couldn't do. Maybe it's going for a walk every day. What's one thing you could do to start the momentum? Because that's what self-care is all about, momentum. Start the momentum to get this happening. And if you really want to start somewhere, start with these three in this order. Number one, dial down and get really, really good at sleeping. Good quality sleep. Download the app called Sleep Cycle. Get yourself into a sleep routine. Get your sleep right first and foremost, because your sleep is most important. Second is the food and the diet, and third is the exercise. So if you're going to start somewhere with one thing, start with sleep. And if you need any help, reach out to me. Because we have 4 areas that we need to be spreading our time over: sleep, career, self-care, and abundance. And in the Total Teacher Self-Care program, I go through this with you and help you get really clear on making sure you have a balance between sleep, career, self-care, and abundance. There's 168 hours in a week, and we should be able to divide that up evenly between these 4 areas. And the reason why many of us feel tired, burnt out, stressed, and not well is because this isn't balanced. And all it takes is a little bit of planning and some self-awareness, and you really start to get this right. You'll feel amazing, and you'll be like me, being crazy until 6, 7, 10 o'clock at night the other night on live webinars, still with energy to burn, because I know these are in balance. I know how much sleep I'm getting every night, every week. Okay, I know how much time I'm spending a week working. I know my self-care is a priority, and abundance just flows and flows and flows and flows because of this. I just want to go through that. I want you to ask this question. Am I green and growing, or ripe and rotting? Okay, because when we pick fruit, okay, I've got here nothing new, okay? You get the Coles bananas. Oh, look, I can't even read them. Coles bananas, and 3 days after being off the shelf, they're already brown and going off. Because when we pick a fruit, it begins to rot, okay? So it grows, it's green and growing, it's beautiful, it's expanding, it's becoming this beautiful, magnificent creature, and then we pick it, and it immediately, it's become as ripe as it's going to get. It's like it gets to this point of absolute perfection, and then it starts the rotting process. Now I want you to ask yourself the question, have you got to the point where you've decided that you're right, and now you're really actually rotting? You're not investing in yourself, you're not learning, you're not growing, you're not practicing self-care. We want it to be the other way around. We want you to always be green and growing. Now, the spiritual teachers all over the world, the great personal development coaches, they all understand that happiness comes from growth. So when we're growing, that's when we're happiest. So I encourage you to utilize all the stuff that's happening online at the moment, because I can help you be your best. And I use the word be, because I want you to be your best, not the best, okay? It's about being the best, the way you feel, the way you act, the way you respond instead of react, the way you show up and approach the world, the way you impact people, just as your best self. But to do that, we need to get the self-care right. And really doing that right requires somebody to guide you. That is my passion. That is my purpose. That is why I'm here. That is why I'm on lives and videos and webinars and podcasts and everything every day, because I want to help you to live your best life. And because I know that when you live your best life, you're going to have the biggest impact on the students that you work with. So right now, we have just today opened up a free mini course. It's a 5-part course. You'll get sent a video and some material every day for 5 days to help you start this self-care journey. And there's never been a better time. School holidays, we're working from home, we've got all this time to invest in ourselves. So wouldn't it be fantastic if you leverage this time so that when the world does return to normal, if that ever happens, when the world does return to normal, you've already got these habits that are serving you. So if you're on Instagram and you do want to access the free course, it's bit.ly, so bit.ly/smile course. Okay, so that's bit.ly/smile course. And right there, you can get access to 5 days of free content. It's a mini course that I've filmed and designed to help you to start your self-care journey. And I'm here to guide you every bit of the way. Harry, who's been interacting constantly on the Instagram, finished the Happy Teacher project with us just a couple of weeks ago. She went from here to here in 6 weeks by doing many of these strategies. It's a fantastic program. It's designed to help teachers to be happy and teach well. It's what I do. It's why I'm here. I'm here to help you smile. So any other questions, please, yes indeed, drop them in the chat on Zoom or the chat on Instagram. We'll get these. They smell somewhat good. I was going to say smelly bananas. I'll get these questions. If there's any questions, Q&A, I'm right here to help you. Please go back through and have a look for the resources. If you would like to download some free resources, reach out to me on social media or email if you need any material, if you need any support. The Online Education Summit is tomorrow and Friday. Check out summit.energetic.education if you would like to register for any of the workshops. 12 speakers from all over the world. It's going to be fantastic. No questions in Zoom. Just give it a minute. No questions in Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, Harry. I loved working with you too. Thank you for your beautiful recommendation on Facebook. Perfect. And Harry, if you've got time, if you haven't already registered, check out the Online Education Summit. There's some great speakers who I know you'll love. Shanette Basson from the UK, Angie Stead from New Zealand, Sandy from the US, all wonderful women who I know you'll really connect with, and even Lanita from Sydney, who works with empowering teens and helping people become coaches. That's all from me, guys. I've got to go have a shower. The chiropractor stuck a whole heap of dry needles in my back just before this. And then it's time to relax. Get ready for 2 days of the conference. See you all later. Have a beautiful evening. Be happy. Teach well. Peace, love.